Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Introduction to Applied AI. I'm your host and your professor, Dr. John Baugh. All right, so for this lecture, this is another more applied lecture. We're going to go over some basics of LangGraph again, with some additional features specifically related to modular agents. And then we'll do a couple examples from the tutorial, and you can do the remainder. All right, so from chains to agents to graphs to modular agents. So chains, like LangChain, have fixed execution pipelines and deterministic flow. Agents add in a reasoning loop and dynamic decisions and tool selection. Graphs give us explicit state, explicit routing, and structured execution, and modular agents have encapsulated graph components and reusable system building blocks. So when we talk about just an agent or a regular old agent, the agent is the system that receives the input and makes decisions or performs the transformations. It, of course, produces output, and it's possibly uses some tools or an LLM or things like that. So it could be a single script, a loop, function, graph, chain, React style loop, or something else. So the plain old agents don't need to be encapsulated. They don't really need to be reusable or have much of a super clean interface, or they don't have a clean interface. What is a modular agent, though? So it's encapsulated inside a class. It's built around an internal graph. It exposes a single clean entry point, typically a run method, run function. It hides its internal structure, clearly defines its state schema, and is designed to be reused or composed inside larger systems. So it behaves basically like a software component. So that's basically the key difference. So we're going to build some independent agents. All right. So they're not just agents, though. They're self-contained graph components with explicit state schemas and encapsulated graph construction. And they'll have a single public interface, and they're designed so that you could embed them later. So I would recommend going through all the remaining tutorials inside the booklet that I wrote for you. All right, so moving on. So why do modular agents matter? Well, as the systems grow, the logic becomes scattered and state handling becomes inconsistent. Debugging becomes harder to trace and reuse becomes difficult. Modular agents provide clean boundaries, predictable entry points, and testable components. And they also help us with software engineering discipline as well. So every modular agent includes typically a state definition, which is usually a typed dict or base model, and it defines all data flowing through the graph. An init, which builds and stores the graph, a build graph function, underscore build graph, which adds the nodes, defines the edges, and compiles the graph, node functions that do things like read state and return the updated state, and a run, which is the external entry point, which invokes the graph. This pattern creates a reusable graph class. So the core mental model is that we have a state, which is a shared structured object passed from node to node, and it's basically the only communication channel. We have nodes, which are pure state transformations with no direct communication between nodes, and edges, which define the execution order, which could be deterministic or conditional. So the important idea is that from the graph's perspective, an LLM call is just another state transformation. So what about the progression of complexity? So the first agent is the echo agent, which is just one node, no LLM, and it focuses on structure. The mini agent has two nodes, sequential flow, and demonstrates state mutation across steps. And then the LLM responder agent is a single node, which includes model inference, same architectural pattern, and model inference happens inside the node. So structure remains consistent, only the node logic changes throughout these nodes. We'll just do one so we can get it set up, and I'll show you the others, but you can go through the tutorial on your own to practice. All right, so encapsulation and reuse. A modular agent behaves like a software component, as mentioned, clean interface through the run function, internal logic hidden behind graph execution, and state clearly defined. This enables embedding agents inside orchestrators, which build on top of this, multi-agent routing, RAG integration, and unit testing at the agent level. We'll see some of this in a future lecture. So we're moving from scripts to full systems. Separation of responsibilities. So good modular agents separate the state definition, graph construction, node logic, and execution entry point. This mirrors object-oriented design principles, separation of concerns, and predictable architecture. The model does not control routing. The graph does. So what should you focus on for this week? Don't focus on the syntax. Focus on how state flows, why nodes only mutate state, why entry and finish points matter, why encapsulation simplifies reasoning, and how this differs from implicit agent loops. Think in terms of the overall system design, not just prompts now. So how does this fit into the course? Modular agents enable orchestrators, multi-agent workflows, conditional routing, tool-based nodes, RAG pipelines, and production-ready architectures. Everything after this assumes that you understand how to build agents as structured graph components. So the tutorials are the lecture, the slides are just the orientation. Okay, so I've got some material here. I'm going to show you the first module just so you can see it, and then you can go through, well, do the first couple, and then you can go through and work on the remainder of the tutorials and also discussion posts if you're in one of my actual classes and not just watching this as an observer on the lovely interwebs. So module 1 is just the general format of agents in LangChain. So right here, we explore the general requirements of most agents in LangGraph, rather. I said LangChain, LangGraph. In the next couple modules, you actually do the implementation of agents. So what should every agent include? In practically every agent you'll build, you'll need the following. You'll need a state component, which is typically a typed dict or base model, and that defines what data flows through the graph. You need an init dunder method right here. This initializes and stores the graph. The build graph, okay, underscore build graph, wires up the graph using state graph, node functions, so one or more functions that modify the state, and a run function. So this is external entry point that accepts the input and invokes the graph, or the graph rather. So to add a little more clarity to the state, let's focus or clarify on its purpose. So the state is a shared dictionary, typically typed dict, that carries all your data through the agent's internal graph. You can think of it as like a backpack that each node reads from and writes to. So nodes never talk to each other directly. They only mutate the shared data and pass that along. So template agent structure, this is the template agent structure. You don't really need to try to code this, okay? So you don't have to copy this right now or whatever. You'll have concrete examples in the other lectures, or tutorials rather, inside here. So just observe what the different parts do. So you might include from typing typed dict, and then from LangGraph graph, import the state graph. So the typed dictionary has an input and output strings. You could add more stuff. And then the actual my agent, okay, this is the actual agent. You have the init, which initializes the self.graph, okay, to self. And then build graph, which we define down here. This creates a builder based on the state graph and the agent state that we defined earlier. And then builder.add node, naming it step, self. And then step, right? And then the set entry point to step or set finish point to step. There's other techniques of doing this as well, but these are still valid. And then return builder.compile, okay? So these down here use prompt templates in our concrete examples, but this shows you could use regular strings if you wanted to. Okay, so you've got self and then agent state, produces an agent state. You've got the state referenced, and then output is set to the F string you said, and then state of input or what have you. And then this right here is the run. So this just returns the self.graph.invoke, and then it passes this state along here, taking the input, and then the output is currently empty, and it invokes the graph essentially that will build the output. And then this tells you how to set up your virtual environment, just like the other one, how to activate it. If you've already done that, you don't need anything else in your VENV. So then you install LangChain, LangGraph, and then LangChain Olama. And then this is the Echo agent. So this is the one node agent that we'll look at, and then you can do the other two on your own. This is actually LLM free. It's just for the purpose of clarity and simplicity. So it demonstrates the core LangGraph mechanics. So state passing, node logic, modular design, etc., without requiring any model inference. So this program simply echoes what the user inputs. All right, so recall the 5 components from module 1, and let's see how it lines up with our echo agent. So state will have an echo state. It will have an init. It will have build graph. The node function will be echo nodes. And then the run, it will have a run, of course. So that's yes also. So add node will tell LangGraph we have a node named echo, and it runs the function echo node. So that's what this line would mean right here, right? Echo, that's the node name, and then self._echo node is the name of the function that it runs. So that function receives the entire state, modifies it, and returns a new version. That's the core of LangGraph. You build flow of logic on discrete named steps. So those are the nodes. Set entry point and set finish point marks the graph's state and or start and end. Okay, since there's only one node, this is going to be the same. So you basically take that name of the node that you named earlier, and you set it to echo for the entry and the finish point. Okay, so you create 2 files. I have created several subfolders inside of my virtual environment, one for each of the modules, just so you can see how I structured it. So I've got echo agent right here, and then LLM responder and mini agent. So I think the order is echo and then mini, then LLM responder in the nodes. We're just going to do echo agent for this particular lecture. And then they've got the code. So we'll briefly go over this. So here's our echo agent. It has the echo state, which is the state we talked about, because you have to have that. It's got an input and output. It inherits from typed dict, right, as said. An init here sets the prompt, and it basically says you said, and then whatever the input is, right? Now, self.graph, okay, equals self.buildGraph. BuildGraph creates the state graph based on the echo state, adds the node echo, okay, to this as this function echo node, sets the entry and finish point, and then returns the result of builder.compile. Okay. Echo node takes the message and calls self.prompt.format. Okay. The prompt is that prompt template instance that we created earlier from a template. So the template was you said, and then input. And then we return the modified state with the output. Okay. So the run returns an echo state as well, and it has the user input and user output also. Okay, so inside this, if I want to run this, I'm at the top level, so you can see that I'm at this top level here, which is in the LangGraph, which has all these subfolders, echo, LLM, etc. I'm going to call it from there. You can cd into the directory. So echo agent, run echo agent. And it'll say something. I'll say, hi there. And it says, you said hi there. So it's just echoing it. I'm going to exit that. I'll show you the other ones just to show you, but you'll look at the code and work through it yourself. So Python LLM, and then I have run LLM responder. This is, I think, module 4. Tell me about cats. Okay. It's not really a question, but it should be able to handle it. Or you could say, are cats friendly? Or what do cats eat? What's the most common breed of cats? But it'll give you an LLM. That actually connected to an LLM and responded. So we can exit that. And then the mini agent just, I think, capitalizes the input. So I could say, hi, I'm John. And you'll notice it capitalizes it. Oh, and puts it in these little angle braces right there. Okay, pointing inward. So that's all I have for you for this particular live video. I want you to go through the remainder of the instructor-led tutorial that I created for you right here. It's got quite a bit of information in it. And if you're in one of my actual classes watching this, of course, you know that you have a discussion post and other assignments that will be heavily dependent on this. So discussion post, you can enhance your abilities related to this even further. All right, so that's what I have for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Bye-bye.